Hi everyone. So I promised I was going to do this video in terms of what the fertility doctor said going forward and so on. So I have had blood work done that was not cycle dependent, right? So I did it the very day right after I saw the doctor. I went straight to the lab. Now there is blood work that needs to be done, which actually is cycle dependent. Because I don't have my period, I can't do this now. And I expected to have my period by Saturday, Sunday the latest, right? Didn't happen. So now I'm just waiting on my period to start because the blood work that I'm talking about is it actually is between 2 and 5 days from my cycle starting, and it tests follicle stimulating hormone and estrogen levels, and that has to be done within 2 to 5 days from first day of cycle, right? And then there is a transvaginal ultrasound that also needs to be done within 2 to 5 days from cycle. Okay, so the transvaginal ultrasound is done. The reason why my doctor wanted to get it done, I did have an ectopic pregnancy, but that also is meant for ectopic pregnancies. I'm not worried about it because I don't think I know I'm not pregnant, like I know it. So I don't have an ectopic pregnancy if I'm not pregnant, right? My blood work would have indicated that I'm pregnant whether I have an ectopic or not, right? So that's not the case. The reason why is because I have fibroids, right? So this ultrasound is also done if there's issues with a certain, like with the pregnancy, with a pregnancy, if a woman is already pregnant. But my main reason is them having an idea as to how large the fibroids are. Because when I was pregnant with my 2-year-old now, I was high risk because of my age. And so they did a lot of ultrasound throughout my pregnancy. And one thing that they always told me was how large my fibroids are. So because of hormone, like how high your hormones will be during pregnancy, the fibroids are affected by it. So my fibroids were bigger, most likely, during pregnancy rather than not. So not that I don't have fibroids, and that's one reason that they're wanting to look at it and see to what extent, how large they are and everything else, right? So the next one is saline infusion sonogram, and that is done between 5 and 12 days from cycle, first day of cycle. And that also is accompanied, you take like ibuprofen, that's what they told me, 800 milligram, just because of the cramping. And this is also done for fibroids, to give them an insight. But the main reason they want to know for me, and there's other reasons, right? If you have a whole bunch of miscarriages and stuff like that, the main reasons they want to do that is they want to know because the VA doctor, the VA gynecologist, did an ultrasound where they placed dye up into my uterus, and actually up into the fallopian tube. It was trying to reach the fallopian tube and it wasn't. And they said that basically she told me that most likely I have scarring from what it looks like, because of the C-section I had with my 2-year-old when I had him. But this is done to see if I have scarring, right? He wants to see if that really indeed happened. So it gives him an insight as to what, and basically he told me that it kind of, it may not, he may not be looking straight into the fallopian tube, but he can see the one that is there and give him a little bit, but it's mainly for the uterus to see if I have any scarring or to what extent, right? So we can see if it's even possible for me to conceive in that way, especially with the possibility of an IUI, right? If I get my period, though. That's given I get my period, though, right? The next one is between 8 and 12 days from cycle, and this is meant to be the third one because it's called an HSG. It's a, let's see, I'm trying to pronounce it, hysterosalpingogram. So yeah, I would also, with this one, I would take Motrin 800 milligram for pain about an hour prior to the procedure. And I would also take antibiotics twice a day for 5 days to prevent infection. So with an HSG, basically they will put dye or contrast into through my cervix, and and see if it reaches the fallopian tube. I've had this done before. He just wants to see it again. He wants to do it himself so he can see if that is if it's different from the OBGYN that actually performed it about almost 2 years ago. She is pretty much saying that, it's damaged and all that. He said that 60% of the time it isn't necessarily damaged. It may be because the fallopian tube is a muscle. It may just constrict it pretty much, and not allow, for the dye to go through. And if it is not open, this is essentially important, because if it constricts and it does that, if it's not open, I will not be a candidate for IUI, right? Because of the nature of the IUI, right? Like my egg meets the sperm in the uterus, and if that's not happening, then it cannot happen. Like IVF would be my only option, right? He also told me that there is a procedure that he could do if that is the case, to open it, but that actually puts me at an increased risk for ectopic pregnancies maybe, and my tube would still possibly close. So that's about it for right now.